Hi everyone, this presentation will address some key aspects of nutrition and why it's essential we maintain a healthy diet. In this presentation, I'll just give a brief introduction and then I'll go on to provide you with some information on disease, energy requirements, the Australian guidelines, food groups and their serves. Then I'll just do a little brief conclusion wrapping it all together. I hope you enjoy it. Eating a well-balanced diet is vital for maintaining good health and improving well-being. Food provides our bodies with many nutrients that are essential for growth, healing and maintenance of our bodily organs to carry out everyday processes. Consuming a wide variety of different foods daily ensures our bodies get the energy, proteins, fats and vitamins and minerals that we need to function properly. Unhealthy diets, such as those with high fat and sugar contents, fail to provide us with key nutrients and can lead to and worsen an array of health problems. Like it was previously mentioned, poor dietary behaviours can lead to and worsen health conditions and diseases. Many studies show that nutrition has the most effect on the cardiovascular system, that is, the heart and its associated vessels. There is an increase of developing heart diseases, having strokes, high blood pressure and chest pain when paired with an unhealthy diet. As I'm sure you're aware, there appears to be a relationship between nutrition and obesity, diabetes and poor heart health, and the conditions somewhat cycle. So if you eat unhealthy foods, you're more likely to gain excess weight. This weight gain and poor diet over time can lead to insulin resistance, that's type 2 diabetes, and further contribute to heart conditions. Nutrition has also been linked with certain cancers, particularly those along the gastrointestinal tract, including the bowel and rectal, esophageal and stomach cancers. Eating sugary foods can have an impact on oral health and are particularly associated with dental caries and gum inflammation, which are also linked to heart conditions. Poor dietary behaviours are linked to diseases of the gallbladder, anemia, and surprisingly, dementia and osteoporosis. Typically, as we age, we require less kilojoules in energy because we tend to be less active. However, we still require a similar amount of nutrients in our diets. As a developed nation, most people have access to and can readily purchase a wide variety of nutritional foods. Where we live and our way of life can influence how we eat. And as we commonly see, it may be a difficult task to buy healthy and nutritious foods. Cheap and convenient alternatives can blind our perception of foods. And oddly enough, they're most often pumped full of fats, sugars, salts, and other harmful additives. So general trends suggest that older people over the age of 60 are more likely to suffer from malnutrition, consume inadequate diets, and are less likely to exercise. A shocking fact for this age group. To combat the progression of such health issues, as previously discussed, the Australian government has released a set of guidelines. These guidelines provide up-to-date advice about the amount and kinds of foods we should be consuming to maintain healthy weights, consume all the recommended nutrients, and prevent disease. They're based on quality scientific research. The Australian Guide to Healthy Eating promotes the need to be physically active and choose amounts of nutritious food and drink to meet energy needs in regards to your levels of physical activity. They also encourage us to enjoy a wide variety of foods from each of the 5 food groups daily, as well as limit the intake of foods containing fats, added salt and sugars, and also for us to avoid excessive alcohol consumption. So according to the Australian guidelines, there are 5 key food groups and 1 additional food group. These include 1. Vegetables, legumes and beans, 2. Fruit, 3. Grain foods, 4. Lean meat, poultry, fish, eggs, nuts and seeds, as well as legumes and beans as well. 5. Milk, yogurt, cheese and/or alternatives. And we also have an additional food group. Along with these food groups, it's also important to consume up to 1.5 or 2 litres of water each day, which is approximately 8 glasses. So you may be wondering, why is it important to consume foods from all the food groups? So here in this slide, I've just combined the first 2 food groups. So vegetables, legumes and beans and fruit are nutrient dense, low in energy, and are good sources of vitamins, minerals, dietary fibre and water. When including fruit and vegetables into the diet, it's noted by many that the various colours, flavours and textures make food more palatable and enjoyable. As expected, different foods contain different nutrients. For example, green leafy vegetables such as spinach and broccoli are rich in folate, whereas starchy vegetables such as potato are rich in complex carbohydrates. Legumes and beans are cheap alternatives for many food products and are rich in protein, iron, fatty acids, dietary fibre, among others, and are particularly good alternatives in vegetarian diets. Research has shown that these food groups have a protective effect on the heart and are shown to prevent obesity and weight gain, type 2 diabetes, and various cancers. So grain foods, the third food group. Grain foods contain many key nutrients such as starch, protein, dietary fibre, the B vitamin group, vitamin E's, iron, zinc, magnesium and phosphorus, and they also have other protective components. Including grain foods in the diet is beneficial as they can reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease, diabetes, obesity and some cancers, overall improving health outcomes. As oral health and dentition may be impaired among older people, grain foods such as cereals, nuts and seeds may be difficult to consume and may be poorly tolerated. However, alternatives such as finely milled whole grain bread and other fibre-fortified products exist and provide similar nutrient values. So now we're up to the fourth food group, so the lean meat, poultry, fish, eggs, nuts and seeds, as well as legumes and beans group. So meat products are protein and energy rich and also provide high levels of iron, zinc, iodine, vitamin B12, vitamin A, vitamin D, selenium, magnesium, dietary fibre, essential fatty acids, and other minerals. Recent literature suggests that the consumption of too much red meat has been associated with a number of cancers, including colorectal and renal cancers. Evidence is inconclusive in regards to poultry. Research shows that consumption of fish is associated with lower rates of cardiovascular disease and overall mortality, a reduced risk of cancers, and a reduced risk of macular degeneration. Nuts and seeds have been proven to have favourable effects on serum cholesterol levels and has shown to protect against heart diseases. So now we're up to the final food group, so the milk, yogurt, cheese and or other alternatives group. Dairy products are great sources of calcium, iodine, protein, vitamin A and B12, riboflavin and zinc. Most often it's recommended that people choose reduced fat varieties as milk, cheeses and yogurts contain much of the fat needed in a day. Of course, with the exception of infants and older people, due to that lower energy need and reduced body weight. Many researchers find it probable that dairy foods reduce the risk of coronary heart disease, stroke, hypertension, type 2 diabetes and some cancers. Due to the high calcium content, increased consumption of dairy products can improve bone health and reduce the risk of developing osteoporosis and other bone disorders. For older people, milk is a great choice as it's relatively high in proteins, calcium and energy and suit those with reduced appetites. Its consumption is highly recommended so as to prevent the onset and worsening of bone issues such as osteoporosis among the older age groups. Additional or discretionary foods should only be consumed sometimes and in small amounts. As previously mentioned, discretionary foods contain empty calories, meaning they're energy dense but not nutrient rich, and they often contain large amounts of sugar and salt. If one chooses these foods often, it's recommended that they increase their levels of and time spent engaging in physical activity in order to prevent weight gain, diabetes, and possible heart diseases, among other serious conditions. Now to servings. So a serve size is a set amount of food as stated in the dietary guidelines that reflects a certain portion of food containing the required amount of vitamins and minerals. For example, a serve is 1 cup of oats or 1 piece of fruit. A portion size, on the other hand, is the amount you actually eat. So, for instance, if you only eat half a slice of toast, it's only equivalent to half a serve of cereal products. Or if you eat the equivalent of 1 cup of cooked vegetables, it equates to around 2 serves of vegetable products. So you may be wondering, how much do I need per day? So I've just included a brief little table setting out how many serves of each food group we need each day, and I've broken it into males and females between the ages of 51 and 70 and older. Here in this slide, I've just provided some examples of what foods contribute to each food group and how much of them we need to eat to have eaten a serve of each group, essentially. So just in summary, it's important that you consume the recommended daily amounts so as to reach the energy and nutrient levels that are vital to everyday living. Drinking around 8 cups of water and exercising is also essential. Consuming food from the 5 food groups help prevent disease and maintain health and well-being. Thank you. For more information, please refer to the sources listed in this slide. Thanks again. I hope you enjoyed this presentation.